What's going on with my African
Peace.
brother?
Peace to the God.
Peace to the God that this dude funny as hell today.
What up, though?
It's good, man.
Man, I'm good, man. I was just looking at some of your posts when you was saying condolences to the good brother Kirk.
Yeah, send my condolences for sure. Nah, man, that joint was hella crazy. First off, I want to say real quick before we even talk about that, man. Man, I'm hella proud of you, bro. Just all the way around, dog. Like what you doing with Supermind is beautiful. The brand is growing beautifully. Everything we talked about, a while ago, things, the visions you had for it, bro, is just coming together amazing, bro. And
Thank you,
like
brother.
everything you're doing is really top. I know we haven't really talked in a little while, but I definitely just want to give you your flowers with everything you've been doing, bro. You know what I mean?
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. I think sometimes I need to hear that because sometimes you be so busy doing something, you don't really take time to reflect on everything you've done, especially when you planned it out and executed. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It
absolutely.
just happens day to day.
Absolutely, because you're in the thick of it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah. But
And now
yeah,
I'm in the thick of this goddamn traffic trying to get to Houston.
yeah, I got an event coming up.
Yeah, so we have an event in Houston with my brother Yaki and the therapist Raquel, the capacity expert. It's gonna be a real powerful one.
Okay, okay. That's what's up. Well, yeah, man. But the whole thing with old boy, right? Like, you know, the thing that I think that I was trying to get across with the post, which I was kind of surprised, but not surprised at the same time at how triggered people were by it,
Uh-huh.
because it's just so interesting to me that like you can say something in plain English, right? You can say something in plain English, and you can say something that is, you know, shouldn't be controversial, and all of a sudden it gets people triggered and riled up. You know what I'm saying? Like all I did was share a video that this man said out his own mouth, saying that gun deaths were necessary for Second Amendment rights. And then secondarily, I said that, nine times out of 10, when a black person dies by the hands of police brutality, right, all of a sudden, a lot of times the number one thing that they'll say in response to it is, well, black on black crime is a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like black on black crime is a thing. Black people kill each other at a high rate. So why is it that it matters when a police officer dies? If you look at the numbers, black people kill people all the time, right? So that's the number one thing they do. So now when a white person kills a white person, right? It's a problem when I say, that we need to pay attention to white on white crime. The same day that this happened, right, which also was funny enough, astrologically, the start of a new astrological cycle right after the 999 eclipse, which we know is a ritualistic time frame and all that other type of stuff. But the same day, you have a boy go into a school and shoot four people. Yet nobody, the same people, especially the black people who are posting Charlie Kirk as a family man and who are not posting the four children who got shot by a white kid. That's not part of the conversation. They never want to speak about that being a problem, right? Like they'll use black on black crime as this big thing and say, "Oh, well, y'all's community is always killing each other." It's not our community that's killing each other. It's low income communities that are poverty and drug ridden, which came from the United States government. We know the history of that. It's not middle class black Americans. It's not upper class black Americans. It's not black Americans globally or black people globally. That this is not an inherent trait of black people. If it was an inherent trait of black people, people in Ghana would be murdering each other all the time. People in Togo would be murdering each other all the time. People in Benin would be murdering each other, which is not the case of what we see, right? So, and black Americans in the 60s and the 70s were not murdering each other at high rates until the drugs got into the neighborhood. But yet the conversation is not, well, white Americans have been killing people indiscriminately for years. And right now, a middle class white child or an upper class white child will grow up and go shoot up a school, shoot up the parents, shoot up the da da da. And we don't say it's white on white crime or there's a problem that we need to look at. It's always excused or swept under the rug. So when I
Mhm.
bring that up and make that point, which Charlie Kirk made that point when he said George Floyd was a scumbag and didn't deserve to live and all this other stuff. When he said MLK was useless and should not be promoted and all these things. These are all men who were killed, who were peaceful and who got murdered. And they were family men, they had kids, but yet this man is able to speak against them indiscriminately. But if I say, that okay, well now that he passed from white on white violence, we should definitely address white on white violence. All of a sudden, I'm hateful and I'm racist. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
saying?
we know what that is. It's first of all, there's a lot of things that's going on behind the scenes. I think today is one of them days where you get to see how much people's identities have been shifted over. You understand me? And
Mm-hmm.
I deeply study cognitive security, where it hacks the mind and it changes how you think, right? And so that means that instead of information warfare changing what you think, changing how you think means that I can show you one symbol and I can change how you view it, how you perceive it. So we can
Mm-hmm.
both look at Charlie Kirk and another black person looks at him and they perceive that completely different. Some people say I perceive him as a good Sabbath Christian man because he proclaimed Jesus Christ. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
Then another person sees him as, well, he spews Christian nationalism and hateful rhetoric about black people and black culture, which is directly from a white supremacist playbook to dehumanize us and paint us a certain way. You understand me? And even though historically you would have showed that same person, any black person in America would have been like, oh, yeah, this is a racist. Don't care if he's Christian, don't care if he's Jewish, I don't care if he's Buddhist. That has nothing to do with it. All of a sudden,
exactly.
you proclaiming Jesus Christ has nothing to do with you being a good person whatsoever, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
that becomes a weaponized tool of white supremacy to hide your hatred behind, so that you can
Right,
get consistent forgiveness for your sins. You
right.
understand me? And so we know that slave masters and all races and supremacists and KKK goddamn went to church after they hung black people as well. So
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
never I've never seen the man actually debate with somebody of any intellectual prowess. I
That's what I
seen him
said.
talk to
College students.
children on college students who had yet even developed the intellectual experience to debate with somebody who had the manipulative tactics and the ability to skew facts, right? And all of the different little things that he will pull out. And the reality of it is he was a person that built a media platform and a media company going around campuses. They said that his platform made up to $50 million a year, and he would get donations and political donations. And behind him were these tech companies, were these tech feudalists. You understand me? The same ones who are destroying communities and killing people all day long, because Christianity and hyper capitalism are not even in alignment. So
Right.
there's a lot of things that one can take a look at, but what I look at that is more concerning is how so many black people that look like me have such different identity in the way they view reality, right? And so it gets you to the point of like, yeah, you want to say, hey, you're my brother, I got your back, but this same person is in alignment with people who hate you. This same person
Exactly.
is in alignment with people who are literally running psyops to dehumanize you to put you in prison forever. You understand me?
Exactly.
Or anytime a black person dies, they spit on the dead. That's not Christian behavior. You understand
Exactly.
me? Like
Exactly.
they spit on the dead and call
Yeah.
you a scumbag and take your heroes and try to
Yeah.
destroy them and run psychological operations and then make it seem though only 1% of black America commits 99% of the crimes, trying to paint this as the whole nationwide culture of black America as if there's something genetically wrong with black people. And we're
Exactly.
supposed to then, even though we're desensitized, because we just got a goddamn Department of War, but we say America has a violence problem. But we just got a
Right.
Department of War 2 days
Right.
ago. You
Right.
understand me? And everything that you named is true. On top of the fact that that young kid in Evergreen at that high school was in the same city that Columbine happened all those years ago.
Exactly.
You understand
Colorado.
me? And
Exactly.
Columbine happened because of that kid being radicalized, because of what Timothy McVeigh did. And
Mm-hmm.
Timothy McVeigh was radicalized because of what the government had did. You understand me? To that one group that was trying to be sovereign, and the FBI went and burnt all them people up. And so there's a long history of radicalization of whites and white terrorism. You understand me? And white supremacists and white militia groups in this country. And anytime a black person dies, you understand me? They celebrate it. And all of a sudden, black people are activating their Christianity and unity and crying and sobbing. Yes, Waco, Texas, thank you. This
Yeah.
is one of the most dangerous psyops that we've ever experienced in our history and time. You understand me? Because it's one thing to have humanity, but not have selective humanity. If you tell me that, and I seen Dr. Umar talking about this, he mad at black people, man. He need to get that coon and shit out too.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
understand me? Because
I'm like,
you
bro, I
this
feel
this
like,
selective here's the same nigga that wouldn't come on Invest Fest, same nigga wouldn't come on high level comments. All of a sudden he go jump out there. You
mm-hmm.
understand me? Bro,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's a weird psyop that's happening in the world. You understand
Mm-hmm.
me? And it's sickening to see these things happen because when you got some knowledge of self and knowledge of reality, you're sitting back and you watch these things happen. And then I just wonder, like, if are you retarded? You understand me? But selective humanity, selective compassion, and selective outrage, you
Yeah.
understand me, is sickening because we sitting here, even as a black culture, we sit and listen to death and murder music and smoking on ops all day long.
Right.
You understand me? And then as American culture, we sit and we are the violent country. We are the country
Exactly.
built on violence, on guns, on bombs, on everything about American culture is about violence. Political
Right.
violence, spiritual violence, emotional violence, psychological violence, capitalist violence. It's all violence. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
And it's aggressive violence in the darkest manner possible. But when you grow up in a country, you become desensitized to these things because they show us death all day.
Yeah.
You understand me? And
But you,
so, therefore, you can't be mad at people when their humanity has been stripped from them because we watch genocides on TV. You understand me? We watch what happens in the Congo in the slave minefields for cobalt. You understand me? We watch what goes on in Chicago, and then we watch them pick that apart and call them brothers monkeys while never addressing the root. You understand me? And at the same time, we not even addressing who killed them.
but and see that's the funny part about the whole thing. It's like the reason why this whole thing is a really a planned operational thing is because first off, first off, for somebody to shoot this man in front of thousands of people and get away scot-free without surveillance cameras catching him, without witnesses catching
This
this
man
guy
was
getting
born
out there.
identity.
He's on a roof.
This was
Everybody's
Jason
there to
Bourne.
see. Bro, how does this happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, and then the fact is that they're not even really like, you know, on the hunt for this guy. Like they talking about it, but they're not really like Trump is just immediately the first thing this guy goes to is how he's about to shut down the radical left and this, that, and the third. It's immediately politicized. So it's like the thing about the whole situation is I know that this whole thing with this guy is meant to cause friction between the racial groups, white and black,
Oh,
right? All of a
100%.
sudden, HBCUs are getting death threats. What the hell does
What do
HBCUs have to
HBCUs
do
got to
with
do
this
with it?
man dying?
First of all, they're saying it was a super transformer shooter.
The
They
man
saying
got
that this
shot
was a
in a way.
binary shooter.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things they're trying to say. But it's like, why is that even? Why are black people even entering the conversation of, being under threat, right?
It's a
But the
black
thing,
culture problem, brother. Obviously, even though we commit 0% of the political violence in this country, I have
right?
yet to see, maybe like 0.1%. Because first of all, political violence is the most ineffective form of violence in America. And the reason, because all it does is plays into the hand of the agendas of those who control the narratives. Because I wouldn't tell you to do anything violent against a brother, mostly because all it would do is radicalize and evangelize his base and his
But
words
that's
and turn him
why.
into a martyr.
But this is why they did it. This is why it's a deep state thing. And the folks over there in the Middle East that shouldn't be in the Middle East, that whole thing, that's what the whole play is because this guy he kind of started shifting a little bit
Yeah, I
with
seen
response of
that.
what they had going on. So it's like this whole thing that they're on is meant to do this division thing. Now, for me, I look at it like, even though I know that be the case, I'm also not going to play into the narrative of the turn the other cheek type of situation where I'm supposed to be gaslit into feeling sorrow or something about this particular person being exited. When we put up a mirror to these people's actions and how they view, like you said, selective humanity, all of a sudden we become the radical, crazy, hateful people. When all, if you repeat back to white America the same narratives that white America repeats towards us, whether it be something like I said, the black on black crime versus white on white crime thing. Oh, Charlie Kirk can talk about George Floyd dying, but if you say something about Charlie Kirk dying, it's you're the worst person in the world. When you hold up that mirror, all of a sudden you become the issue and you become the problem.
And then
You know what I'm
everybody want to
saying?
talk about choose love, which is an LGBT slogan, and they anti-LGBT anyway. You know what I'm
Right.
talking about? But the whole idea of this choose love thing. First of all, the playbook. It's a Christian nationalist playbook. It is about complete elite control. It's not even a white and black playbook, but they Christianize it because, of course, they understand that that's the best way to sanitize. You understand me? They playbook and the best way to get the masses of the ignorant people all on one accord by utilizing their religion. You feel me?
Yeah,
But the
but
playbook is
hold
to
on. See,
keep
real
people in
quick though.
slavery.
They use that the religion of white Christian nationalism because when it's a black Christian that gets killed, it don't matter. When a white boy walks into a church and shoots a bunch
Yeah,
of black Christians, it doesn't become it's not an issue.
yeah, this is a fact. This is a fact. Well, but our black Christian brothers and sisters, man, I think they desperately are. They feel like they're losing the battle of Christianity in the masses, and they find brotherhood in this Christian faith of people saying things that they were afraid to say. Like there was the so-called left going too far, right, into radicalizing the world into LGBT and trans identities and all sort of
Right,
different
right,
things.
right.
So they
Which I do
find
agree
their
with some of
values align with white supremacists because white supremacists push conservatism. So they was like, oh wow, this person is saying they're with Jesus Christ. I was afraid to say that at first. I'm aligning with them because now you're brave for me. Even though the next thing that they're espousing out of their mouth is that your people ain't shit though. And they should have
right,
been stayed slaves.
right. Exactly.
And they should have
That's
never gotten civil rights and don't deserve human rights, and their culture is a genetic problem.
But I think it even goes a step further than that, where it comes into I think a lot of black people who adopt Christianity. I just had a conversation with a dude who is from Ghana, and uh, kind of moved to the U.S. and he's a good guy and stuff like that. But we got into this whole thing of how he, kind of stands with the whole Charlie Kirk thing because Charlie Kirk is a good Christian man at, this, that, and the
Come
third,
on, man.
right?
Yeah,
And it's
good
like,
Christian man,
it,
Savannah.
it's like because somebody says with their mouth that they're a good Christian man, does not make that person a good Christian man, right? Like this man literally spread division and hatred. It wasn't having these conversations with these people to bring unity. But all of a sudden, when we speak about these things, we're the ones that's supposed to create unity all of a sudden. But I think that the Christian thing is really just a matter of the mindset of a lot of Christians have been conditioned to look at somebody that looks like Charlie Kirk. When they close their eyes and you think of an angel or you think of Jesus or whatever it may be, it doesn't look far from it. Look like Charlie Kirk with long hair, right? So it's hard for a lot of these people to to see past that
Yeah,
sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
I would follow that too. Shit.
Yeah.
All
But
right, hey, I gotta go though. I'm at the airport. I gotta make this Houston
all right,
thing,
bro.
man.
All right, man. Be easy,
All right,
man.
salute, brother.